Hello out to all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. In this, I'm going to be talking about how achievements are the modern day collect-a-thon. Now, I don't know why I never made this conclusion before, or why I didn't come to this conclusion before, but it was just something that kind of stuck out to me. And this mostly because there was a bad take about Tears of the Kingdom, comparing it to Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which I'll probably do a separate discussion on that. But then I got to thinking about why people had such a disconnect from the first two games in the series and moving over to Nuts and Bolts. And then it was like, well, the first two games were adventure-centered and they were collect-a-thons, whereas Nuts and Bolts, I personally never really played it. But from what I've seen of it, it's not so focused on the adventure aspect as it is the construction of this thing to do this thing aspect. So that's why I was like, But then I thought about the collect-a-thon thing and I was like, yeah, those games were collect-a-thons. They were fun collect-a-thons no matter what you want to say about them, but they were still collect-a-thons either way. Then I just got to thinking, like, why don't we see as many collect-a-thon games anymore? And then it hit me. Because technically now, every game that releases that has achievements in it is a collect-a-thon. The things that you're collecting are the achievements. You're collecting the achievements as digital trophies to be able to show them off. That's the whole purpose of achievements. Is to say, yeah, I did this thing. I can prove I did this thing. Though there are sometimes in games that you can make a thing happen without actually doing it and still get the achievement for it. Like, for example, Shredder's Revenge. You can get the multiplayer achievement without actually playing in multiplayer. All you have to do is start a multiplayer setup and play with one character and complete a level. You still get the trophy achievement for it. You still collect it. And that's the thing. That's why achievement hunters are a thing now. Because they are basically today's modern day collect-a-thon artist. Because we never really gave them a name. So that's what achievement hunters are. They're collect-a-thoners. They collect the achievements in the game to the nth degree. They do everything they can to get as many of those trophies as they can. And to complete 100%, get every achievement. I am not a completionist. I don't care about collecting all of the achievements. I care about having an enjoyable experience in the game. But that's just how I play. For them, completing the game and getting the achievements is how they get their enjoyment out of it. So people who currently love hunting for achievements would have loved playing collect-a-thons back in the day, because we don't have as many of them now. And yeah, there are some games that kind of lean that way and they kind of do it. But when you think about it, any game you play at all to this day that has achievements in it, they're collect-a-thons. Because you're getting the same dopamine hit no matter what goes on. You're getting the same dopamine hit trying to complete those achievements. So, if that's the case, anybody who likes to hunt down achievements and try to show it off, you would love collect-a-thons. Even if you say you wouldn't. You would love the platform collect-a-thons because they challenge you to collect everything so that you can show off that you did it. So for people that really truly dislike the difficulty level in, say, a Kirby game, if you go through playing the game the way it's meant to be played, just the standard way, I can understand why you don't like them so much. But if you go through trying to collect all the specific items, do all the things in the Kirby game, that's where the difficulty comes in. The same type of thing goes for the Yoshi games as well. That's where the difficulty levels come in. So, like, say for instance, the only game that I would say I probably was like that with Well, a couple of them. One would have been Kirby Superstar on the SNES because of the Great Adventure section of the game where you have to try to collect all of the items. That's one of those situations where, yeah, I had to do it. Or playing Milky Way Wishes where you collect all of the powers. Those are like the games I did that with. Or on the N64 when I did it for Majora's Mask. That is the only game, the only whole game I have ever just 100%ed that game from start to finish on my first playthrough. And stuff like Super Mario World would have been a collect-a-thon if you were trying to make sure you got all the dragon coins in the game. There's just no special achievement for it. But that's how I look at it. That's what these are. Like you get the same dopamine rush. You get the same feeling of excitement. Like, yes, I completed it. I did it. Until DLC comes out and they add more achievements. But then, I'm just saying, that's what they are. Today's collect-a-thons is basically everything. And since Sony, Microsoft, and most of the PC platforms require achievements in their games to tell you how well you're doing along the way, every game now is a collect-a-thon unless it is independently released. Because some of those could be collect-a-thons because they do have achievements in them, but since they're not on any official platform, like say Steam, Good Old Games, Epic, or anything like that, you just play them directly on your PC or Mac. Those are the only ones that could fall out of being collect-a-thons. Hell, even some fan games are collect-a-thons by their very nature. It's just interesting to think of it that way. I had never considered it before until thinking through this situation with that bad take about Tears of the Kingdom in one out of context picture. So I was like, huh. But this makes sense. This actually makes sense that people are modern day collect-a-thon artists being completionists. Or they find pride in showing off what they collected to everyone else. I personally don't give a damn about achievements. You can have them or not have them. To me, the achievement is enjoying the game itself, enjoying the story, enjoying the characters, enjoying the setting. I can do all that. My purpose is fulfilled with a video game. I just understand that there are other people that need to go beyond that, and the achievements are great for them. They're not necessary, but they also do bring a sense of joy and happiness to some people. And I guess it's just because I've had this thing about not really caring about achievements before, and I guess this is my reason to care about them, is because they actually make somebody happy to get them. I do think that they are a subtle way to manipulate you, but they do make some people happy to get them. And I'll admit there are some achievements in games that I do want to go after and I do hunt down and get, just because I get the satisfaction of doing that particular task. But it's not like it's something I do for every game everywhere. Like at that point I'm just going to finish the game. But for the people that love 100%ing every Metroid game out there, you fulfill the collect-a-thon needs you have. The only Metroid game I really truly want to 100% at this point is Super Metroid, because I know that game in and out, and then I found out there were places that I never actually found in game that had been sitting there in front of me the whole time. So I do want to at some point go back and completely replay the game and 100% it. But that's the only one I actually want to do that with. The others I don't really care so much about if I 100% them, because Metroid games are fun in and of themselves. The adventure is its own fun thing. And you create the story in your head as you're playing. You create the scene in your mind as you're playing for most Metroid games. That's what makes them great. But that was something I thought was really interesting to consider. And I know somebody's gonna be like, well, Andre, after you break it down that way, that kind of does make sense. And I never thought about it before. I mean, again, I always figured, I always knew, blah, 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 I'm getting tongue tied. Always knew achievements hit the dopamine receptors in your mind and they make you feel good to get them. I don't really get that anymore with achievements, unless it's a specific one. But I really don't get that with achievements. Sometimes I find it interesting to look at what achievements I got in a game, but I don't really care about getting them. It's just like, okay, I did that. I didn't know I did that. That's cool. But yeah, that's what that is. And I'm like, achievements are the modern day collectibles in every game. It makes, while it does take away the uniqueness of collectibles in a way, it also makes the collectibles that are in a game more unique. If that makes any sense to anyone. But I'm going to stop because I am literally just talking on my butt at this point. But yeah, anybody else that's kind of listening to this, if you come to a similar conclusion, let me know, because I'm just like, I wouldn't have thought about it that way before, and now I actually have. I'm happy I did. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me, and until the very next time, please enjoy your games, and peace out, everybody.